What's up, guys? I'm Sonny the Badger from the Badgers and the Biker and Lifestyle on Facebook and from the Badgers right here on YouTube. In today's video, we're going to talk headlights. Regular headlights, LED headlights, cheap headlights, expensive headlights. But we're going to talk all about headlights. Stay tuned. Hi guys, so for those of you joining me for the first time, welcome to my channel. We do lots of rides, lots of rallies, lots of repairs, and we travel the country on Fatboys. So if you are a motorcycle enthusiast as I am, please hit that subscribe button. You can ring the bell icon to be notified every time we upload a new video. Leave us your comments because we read them and of course try to respond to them all. And of course, tell all your friends and family. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. As I said in the opener, we're talking headlights. So the stock headlights, like is on my red bike there, they just don't cut it. Especially if you do a lot of riding like we do. I mean, we went 13,000 miles on one trip this summer. And unfortunately, we try to avoid riding at night, but that just never works out. We always end up riding at night. So the fact that I have all LED headlights on the front of my bike is of major importance because, you know, especially on the back roads, you just never know what's going to run out into the road or what's to the side of the roads. So having it really bright and lit up as you're riding is hugely important. So when I bought the bike, of course, I just had the standard headlights. I was lucky enough that Silver actually had the two auxiliary lights already on it when I had bought it, but it still was running just the standard bulbs that we've ran for years and years and years and years. So the first thing I did was I went to the auto parts store and I bought the highest lumen standard bulb that was like a white light I could get. And I ran those for probably a year. They did okay, but I got caught in a rainstorm once, and I guess there was a leak in there. Anyway, it popped my light. So I was literally without a light. I'm like, well, that ain't gonna work. So my next step was something like this. So I bought these off of Amazon. They're like 20 bucks for a couple of them. They are just plug and play. They do have a built-in fan in them to keep them cool. And they were brighter than the standard bulb by quite a bit. They were also very durable. I ran it for a couple of years. It did a great job for me. What I did was I actually changed my headlight to one of these, and then I left the standard bulbs on my two auxiliary lights. And that worked okay, but I still wanted more light. It just wasn't bright enough yet. So one thing you guys will learn about me is I work really hard for my money and I like to keep as much of it as possible. So of course I didn't just run out and buy the name brand LED lights. I didn't go to Harley and I didn't buy their day makers. But I found some that were very similar to that on Amazon. I'll put the link down here below. They were like 120 bucks for all three lights. So the headlights and both auxiliary lights for like 120 bucks. I have ran them for a year, about 20,000 miles. And guys, they didn't send these to me. I paid for these. So it's not like I owe them anything. But I will tell you this much. They have worked absolutely fantastic. We got caught in the dark quite a bit on a 13,000 mile trip, and you know, they worked great. Even Mama Badger, who was behind me, said, man, those just light up the road. So they did a great job for 120 bucks. And I know some of those lights can get up into the $400 and $500 range. Honestly, I can buy 4 sets of these cheap ones if they do go out on me before I'm even at the cost of one of those high dollar lights. These light up really well. They're really bright. I have ridden with some other bikes with LEDs. I couldn't tell that they were any more bright than mine were. So anyway, I really like these. Like I said, I'll put the link in below. And since I've already been using them for a year, I know a lot of people are curious about the install of them. So I'm actually going to reverse install. I'm going to uninstall them and then show you guys the setup because they were really easy to install. And then I'll put it back together. So let's get to work. All right, guys. So first things first, a couple things you're going to need. You're going to need yourself a Phillips screwdriver. At least that's the way mine is set up. Mama Badger's is set up that same way. And then this is the box that the lights come in. Now this actually has my old lights and everything in them because the new lights are already on the bike. So let's open it up and check it out. They come packaged really well. So as you can see, it has some foam over the top. Then it has the two auxiliary lights on either side. And then, of course, your main light in the center. And you just replace the housing and everything. So basically take one out, put another one in. They also come with full color instructions in English with pictures and everything. So like I said, really easy and simple to install. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take them apart on my bike so that you guys can see exactly what's involved in putting them on your bike. So here we go. All right, guys, we'll start with the auxiliary light. Guys, these are pretty simple installs, but if you'll look down here, you're going to see a Phillips screw right there. So you're just going to take that Phillips screw off, pull off this outer covering right here, and then we'll go from there. All right, guys, so one important thing, most of them are going to have a little nut like that. Don't lose that nut. Then I'm just going to pull that off. As you can see, the whole thing came out with it. It is literally just plug and play. So you just plug it in to what it was plugged into before. And there's your light unit. Like I said, guys, it is so easy to install. So these were, of course, the factory cords. And then this cord literally just plugs and plays right into it. Then for me, I have a housing. So I just put the housing over it. Shove all the cords back in there. And then I just tighten the screw back up. And we're installed. Super simple, right? All right, guys, so the headlight is pretty much the same way. You can see the Phillips screw right there. You just want to unscrew that, pull this bezel off, and then there's a few more screws to remove. Let's get started. All right, so like I said, we're going to remove that bottom screw. Doing all this with just a Phillips screwdriver, guys. Of course, you don't want to lose your screw. Make sure you pull your screw out. And guys, if you're not comfortable using tools and you're afraid you're going to drop something, put a cover over your fender. Do yourself a favor. I'm not worried about it. Mine's an old bike that probably has a few dents in it, and I'm pretty good with tools, so I don't. But I recommend you do if you have any questions about it at all. Off comes the outer ring. Then you'll see I have screws here, here, and here that actually hold the headlight into place. So I'm going to remove those. Maybe. I put them in there pretty tight. I usually leave the top one in until I have the other two off. Again, don't lose those screws. So from here you can take this the rest of the way off. I use my hand to hold the light in place. All right. And there you go, guys. Another super easy install. Here's your factory pigtail. And this just plugs right into it. Easy, simple, no extra wiring you have to do or anything. Just plug it in, stick everything back in there. You'll see there are little grooves here that fit in this bezel. And then you just tighten your brace back down. That's it, guys. It's that easy to go from just a standard headlight to an LED headlight, which is much brighter. It'll last a lot longer. It actually uses less power from your system, so it's less of a load on your battery and on your charging system. So another great piece to that. About 120 bucks for all three headlights. So I would say this, just the regular headlights, probably somewhere in the $90 to $100 range. I'll try to find a link for that, just for the separate light, and put it in here as well. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And if you got LED lights, tell me what you think about them. All right, guys, we will see you next week. Have a great week. And remember, it's not about the destination. It's all about the ride. See ya.